Buenas y bienvenidos a otra lección de Juan Carlos ESL. Yo soy el maestro Juan Carlos Villao. Bienvenidos a mi clase. Ahora en el día de hoy vamos a estar dando la clase número 6 para los recién llegados, también conocidos como Newcomers. Entonces vamos a comenzar ahora con la clase. We're going to start now with lesson number 6, family members and possessive adjectives. All right, here we go. And I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a moment. Ok, muy bien. Ahora sí, estamos compartiendo la pantalla y vamos a comenzar la clase de hoy. All right, so Juan Carlos CSL, Newcomers, Unit 2, es decir, Unidad 2, About Me, Asunto de mí. Lesson 6, Family Members and Possessive Adjectives. Entonces vamos a estar hablando asuntos de los miembros de la familia y adjetivos posesivos. Entonces comencemos. All right, so content, this is unit 2, about me, family members, and possessive adjectives, lesson number 6. Here on Carlos CSL, exclusively for newcomers who speak Spanish as their dominant language. Entonces, lesson objectives, English as a second language objectives. By the end of this lesson, students should be able to use 54 family-related and ordinal number vocabulary words. So not only are we going to discuss family members and possessive adjectives, we're also going to emphasize on ordinal numbers. Entonces, no solamente vamos a hablar de familia, miembros de la familia y también adjetivos posesivos, pero también vamos a tomar en cuenta números ordinales. Si se acuerdan, en las últimas lecciones hemos repasado los números, asuntos de 1 a 1 billón. Pero ahora en esta lección vamos a estar más fijados del número ordinal. Vamos a hablar asunto de eso. Also use possessive adjectives, my, your, and our, correctly in formal and complete sentences. Entonces, vamos a entrar al asunto de adjetivos posesivos. Vamos a hablar de mi, su y nuestro, que en inglés es my, your, and our. So, mi, su y nuestro. My, your, and our. And then language domain skills include listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So this lesson, the lesson components will include warm-up, vocabulary, guided practice, independent practice, an exit ticket, and we'll conclude with a 20-question quiz. Entonces, así como antes, en las últimas lecciones también teníamos los mismos componentes en la lección, comenzando con un calentamiento, después vamos a repasar vocabulario, después práctica de guianza, después ustedes como estudiantes, los alumnos van a hacer una práctica independiente, después un exit ticket que en español es un boleto de salida, y después una prueba de 20 preguntas. So each component will take its time. This is just an estimation. It's not concrete. It's not in stone. So it's an estimation. Warm-up will take approximately 10 minutes or so. Vocabulary, 10 minutes. Guided practice, 30 minutes. Practice in the independent practice is 20 minutes. And then you have the exit ticket followed by the quiz, 20 minutes. So again, this is an estimation. If you need time and more time in each one or the other component, feel free to add more time to each segment. The important thing is that you learn and you master these skills and objectives. Si necesitan más tiempo en uno de estos componentes, los invito a que extiendan el tiempo en tal segmento. Lo importante es que aprendan estas habilidades nuevas que estamos aprendiendo en el día de hoy. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the warm-up. So the warm-up objective is you're going to activate your prior knowledge to identify and use family member names. Entonces, vamos a tomar en cuenta, utilice su conocimiento que ha tenido antes de esta lección para identificar y usar nombres de miembros de la familia. So, who is in your family? Who is in your family is question number 1. And before we answer that, let's read all 4 questions and we'll start answering them. Entonces, ¿quién está en su familia? And then question 2, how many people are there in your family? How many people are there in your family? Así como les compartí en la última lección, bien importante que entiendan la pregunta antes de contestarla, porque si saltan a conclusiones es posible que se equivoquen. Entonces, mejor que siempre entiendan la pregunta, sea en inglés o en español, antes de contestar. En este caso, son preguntas en inglés, obviamente, para una clase de inglés, pero entiendan la pregunta antes de contestar. Es que le estoy aconsejando. Number 3, do you have siblings? Do you have siblings? And then number 4, do you have cousins? Do you have cousins? Okay, so you take a moment. You could do this independently first and then come back and go over the answers. I invite you to have the students to do this independently first. And after you've given them a few minutes, 5 minutes or so, then you could go over it as a class or randomly choose students to answer and share what they have responded to each respective question. Or you could do a pair activity, assign students to work with a partner and have partners share the responses with one another. And then after they share the responses, they could share with the class, giving them more practice to speak in English. Entonces, pueden compartir sus respuestas con compañero y después con la clase entera. All right, so number 1, who is in your family? Who is in your family? So at this point, you should have already responded to the question. You could have paused in the video to answer the question and then come back to go over the answers. So obviously the answers will vary. This is not just one concrete answer and the only answer. There could be more than one answer to this question. So keep that in mind as well. Answers will vary. All right, so number 1, who is in your family? My blank is in my family. So notice this is a sentence frame. If you did not use a sentence frame, that's fine. But in case you didn't have a complete sentence, I invite you to write a complete sentence to answer these questions. That is also critical. When you learn English, you not just want to give a one-word response. For the sake of formality, it's important and critical to write and to speak a complete sentence. También quiero compartirle cuando usted da su respuesta, no solo de una sola palabra como su respuesta. Por formalidad, escriba una oración completa para contestar una pregunta. Entonces, así va desarrollando su habilidad de hablar y escribir en inglés. No solo para escribir, pero también hablar formalmente. Conteste preguntas en una oración completa cuando está hablando, especialmente cuando están contestando preguntas. So, my blank is in my family. One response could be, my mother is in my family. Mi madre está en mi familia. So the instructions we recall is to use a family member name. So here we're using the family member name of mother. Aquí estamos usando nombres de miembros de familia. Entonces, madre es un nombre de un miembro de la familia. Who's in your family? My mother is in my family. Mi madre está en mi familia. All right, so you get another option here. Notice here is instead of using is, you want to use two or more members as a response to this question. You could use the be verb are. Pueden usar be verb are para contestar si quiere mencionar dos o más miembros. So you could say, my parents are in my family. Mis padres o mis papás están en mi familia. My parents are in my family. So here's another response. Here, using just one member, you want to use the be verb is. If you use two or more members, you could use the be verb are. Okay, my parents are in my family. All right, number 2. How many people are there in your family? How many people are there in your family? So again, this response will vary. Obviously, not all of us have the same number of members in our family. The answer will vary. Obviamente, no todos tenemos la misma cantidad de miembros en la familia. Entonces, esa pregunta es individual para cada estudiante. So, how many parents are there in your family? There are blank people in my family. There are blank people in my family. So you could say, there are 4 people in my family. Hay 4 personas en mi familia. Es una respuesta. Obviamente, cada persona va a tener su propia respuesta. This is just an example. Esto solamente es un ejemplo. Cada persona va a tener tal cantidad de miembros en su familia. There are 4 people in my family. Number 3. Do you have siblings? Do you have siblings? Entonces, la palabra siblings en inglés habla asunto de hermanos y hermanas. Siblings, es decir, hermanos y hermanas. Siblings. Es como si lo traduce, ¿usted tiene hermanos y hermanas? ¿O usted tiene hermanos o hermanas? Do you have siblings? Yes, I have one brother. Sí, yo tengo un hermano. Yes, I have one brother. Sí, yo tengo un hermano. No, I don't have any brothers or sisters. Si la respuesta es no, puede contestar así en una oración completa y formal diciendo, no, I don't have any brothers or sisters. No, yo no tengo ningún hermano o hermana. So notice here, and when you initiate with a no, you have to enforce the term, a negative term, to enforce that's a negative statement. So I don't have any brothers or sisters. So we're going to discuss negative statements in a different lesson, but for now we'll just emphasize that depending if your answer is yes or no, determines on how you write the remaining of the sentence. Entonces, depende de cómo usted contesta la pregunta. Es una pregunta de sí o no. Take account that this is a yes or no question. Do you have siblings? Yes or no. Will determine how you write and read out loud the remaining of the sentence. So, yes, I have one brother, or no, I don't have any brothers or sisters. So, as an effect on the remaining of the sentence. Okay. All right. So, we'll get into negative statements and negative sentences in a different lesson. But for now, we're just emphasizing on family members. And if we have brothers or sisters or we don't, so in English is known as siblings. Hermanos y hermanas in inglés, siblings. All right, number 4. Do you have cousins? Do you have cousins? So yes, I have blank cousins. So again, you could use, you're invited to use a sentence frame that's on the screen here in the slide presentation. Yes, I have blank cousins. You could say, yes, I have 5 cousins. Sí, yo tengo 5 primos. Yes, I have 5 cousins. Sí, yo tengo 5 primos. You could also say no if you don't have any cousins. No, I don't have any cousins. No, yo no tengo primos. Or yo no tengo ningún primo. So, and again, you emphasize on whether yes, you do, and then you give a number to to supplement your yes response. Yes, I have 5 cousins, or no, I don't have any cousins. So again, stating this is a yes or no question, determining if you respond yes or no to the question. Okay, will determine how you write the remaining of the sentence. All right, so that's number 4. And yes, I believe that is the end of the warm up. So hopefully you have shared with your partner or with the class your responses at this time. All right, so we're talking about family members. So now we're going to enter the vocabulary segment. Family members is a list of vocabularies we'll be discussing in this lesson. So we're just going to read it out loud, and the goal here is to know how it's pronounced and know how it's spelled. And for our Spanish-speaking students, know the translation in their native language of Spanish. Entonces vamos a aprender cómo se escribe y se pronuncia los miembros de la familia y qué es la traducción en nuestra idioma nativa, el español. So I will read each word twice in English, and you'll take into account what word that is in Spanish. So let's begin. Mother, mother, madre. Father, father, padre. Mom, mom, mamá. Dad, dad, papá. Sister, sister, hermana. Brother, brother, hermano. Son, son, hijo. Daughter, daughter, hija. Husband, husband, esposo. Wife, wife, esposa. Spouse, spouse, pareja. Mother-in-law, mother-in-law, suegra. Father-in-law, father-in-law, suegro. Brother-in-law, brother-in-law, cuñado. Sister-in-law, sister-in-law, cuñada. Cousin, cousin, primo. Aunt, aunt, tía. Uncle, uncle, tío. Nephew, nephew, sobrino, niece, niece, sobrina, parents, parents, padres, grandparents, grandparents, abuelos, grandfather, grandfather, abuelo, grandmother, grandmother, abuela. Now we're going to take into account ordinal numbers. We just went over the family members. There's more family members. We didn't go over all of them, but I shared with the majority of them with you just now. Now let's discuss ordinal numbers, which we will come across. All right, let's first, primero, second, segundo, third, tercero, fourth, cuarto, fifth, quinto, sixth, sexto, seventh, séptimo, eighth, octavo, ninth, noveno, tenth, décimo, 11th, undécimo, 12th, duodécimo, 13th, décimo tercero, 14th, décimo cuarto, 15th, décimo quinto, 16th, décimo sexto, 17th, décimo séptimo, 18th, décimo octavo, 19th, décimo noveno, 20th, vigésimo, 21st, vigésimo primero, 22nd, vigésimo segundo, 23rd, vigésimo tercero, 24th, vigésimo cuarto, 25th, vigésimo quinto, 26th, vigésimo sexto, 27th, vigésimo séptimo, 28th, vigésimo octavo, 29th, 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 30th, 30th, trigésimo, 30th, 30th. All right. So those are the order numbers from 1st to 30th. Son números ordenados de primero a 30º. Entonces no son todos los números ordenales, perdón. They are not all the ordinal numbers, but these are just the most common that will be coming across from 1st to 30th. Though obviously there are more. All right, so only discuss up to the 30th for now. All right, so these are the same vocabulary words of family members and order numbers that we just went over. You have them on the list and a vocabulary drill for you to complete, to do, and to exercise and practice developing the vocabulary words in English. Okay, so we're just going to go over it one more time and then move on to the guided practice segment of this lesson. So mother, father, mom, dad, sister, brother, son, daughter, husband, wife, spouse, mother-in-law, father-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, cousin, aunt, uncle, nephew, niece, parents, grandparents, grandfather, grandmother. Okay, those are the family members. Obviously, I invite you to practice these words over and over again till you have mastered the pronunciation and the spelling of each vocabulary word. All right, now let's go over the ordinal numbers that we just went over. Let's begin. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Okay, so notice the TH pronunciation. Since we're talking about ordinal numbers, you see many TH at the end of the term. So make sure when you're pronouncing, for example, fourth, you're putting your tongue between these two teeth, the upper row of your teeth, and then lower bottom, your tongue should go right beneath or behind these two rows of your teeth. Fourth, fifth is, since we have the The F, two F's in that term is fifth. Then you have sixth, seventh. So the TH at the end, you have to take that into account when you pronounce these words. Tome en cuenta que la TH también tiene su pronunciación al final de la palabra. Entonces, that's part of the English language development. You got to know how to put your tongue in its place regarding pronunciation. Okay. So here is the ordinal numbers that we just went over. Again, I invite you to complete the vocabulary drill. You will write each word 10 times each and take into account the correct spelling. You want to write every time that you write these words that you are spelling it correctly. So we're taking into account the pronunciation and the spelling of each word. All right, now let's go into the guided practice, which is a grammar focus. So in this lesson, we're going to emphasize on possessive adjectives. So possessive adjectives basically